howdy there, everybody. How is it going? Hope you're all doing fantastic out there in the world of rock and roll. My name is Robert. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we got some mistakes that we need to talk about. And I'm not talking about the time we were at the show. Fitchville, do you remember? Yeah, I'm not talking about that one. So what are we doing today? Well, first of all, if you want to skip me talking, you can, boom, right here, get to the actual meat and potatoes, the lesson, and you can jump right ahead to that and just skip all this blabbing. But what we're talking about are common mistakes that I found that I made myself and very easy ways to fix them. And real quick, if you guys don't mind, maybe leave some common mistakes that you have found throughout the years with your own playing or maybe through other players and stuff like that that you have found easy fixes for. So, you know, let's just make this a video that's going to try to help as many people as possible. Sometimes they're just these little things that we don't really think about when we're playing, but can actually have a big impact on us, how we're playing, and then just in the long run of things, you know, they will impact your playing. So we're gonna dive onto this one. If you would like, oh, there are no tabs for this one, gotcha! And of course, if you would like to, you could check out my lesson packs on my website. They are downloadable on my store, and that's the plug of the day. And we're just gonna go ahead and jump on into this lesson. Let's go! So, what is mistake number uno? Well, that would be how you're sitting and playing. Now, it's all too common. I just did a video talking about playing with distortion, why I think it's important to do that. But so many times we play unplugged. You know, we don't have our guitar plugged in, and we play while we're watching TV. And I do not want to discourage anybody from playing guitar as much as possible. But I do want to discourage one thing that probably happens when you are playing your guitar. You tend to probably sit like this. You're relaxed. You're on the couch. You're just kind of chilling, hanging out. And notice that this is really not a natural way that you probably normally play your guitar. Now, maybe if you always play your guitar this way. Now, what this does for me is my thumb is suddenly up way higher than I normally have. Now, I reach with my thumb over the top of the neck all the time. I do chords. But not all the time, especially when I'm like soloing. A lot of times my thumb, it's dropped behind my actual guitar. Anytime I'm doing that kind of stuff, my thumb's always behind the neck. So when you're practicing, if you're practicing that stuff, you'll notice your thumb is probably going to be up. It's actually hard to drop my thumb, and it puts a lot of torque, I think torque is the right word, a lot of pressure, we'll go with that, on your wrist that is just unneeded. And you know, guitar players have bad wrists as it is from, you know, having all this posture issues. Anyways, so I would really recommend, if you're playing TV, you know, try to sit up, you know, straight, and play like this. This will help a lot because it's more in a player's position whenever we're sitting like this, and it's just going to help you in the long run because, like I said, you're going to really mess up your wrist sitting like that, and you're practicing something in a way that is not the way that you normally are going to play. So if you have to, maybe just play during commercials or something like that. Just, you know, watch your show, then a commercial comes on, just sit up and sit there and run through your stuff, you know. You know, maybe just up like that. That will really help solve the problem of that bad posture of just kind of like leaning back and playing. You know, and we're playing not plugged in, so you're not going to hear all those dead notes either. So I really recommend just trying to sit up straight as much as possible and then play kind of like this, you know, rock stands. Oh! Oh, yeah! So what is the next one? Well, as much as I love playing with effects and stuff like that, and I do recommend practicing with distortion. Like I said, I just did a video about that. And I think practicing with distortion is very key to learning how to control it. But when you're really focusing on a technique side of something, sometimes practicing with tons of effects is not the best way to do it. Now, I still use distortion, but if I am practicing alternate picking and I'm using like this much distortion and effect, you can't really hear anything. You know, if that's the sound that you like, by all means, you know, have time set aside to play with the sound that you prefer. But if you're really trying to hone in technique and stuff, you know, that's not the sound that you want. Now, I still have delay and reverb on my guitar, but I can still hear the notes pretty clearly. If I was to practice, you know, that lick. So I really recommend turning off a lot of those effects. If you can practice completely dry with distortion, that's a great way to do it too. I always like to have a little bit of reverb on there. It's just a sound that I prefer. I don't really think that it's covering up tons You know, but just practice with as little effects as possible on your guitar, because if you have phaser, reverb, delay, flanger, wah, all that kind of stuff, there's so much going on. It really is covering up some of those maybe not so, cleanly played notes, and just you want to make sure that you have good technique. So you do need to set aside a little portion of your practice schedule to practice without all those effects on. Now, the one I would like to end with is one I really think that we're all guilty of, and it's hard to do sometimes, but we can conquer this one together. And that is ending on a wrong note, is what I call it anyways to my students. And what I mean by that is ending your practice, session, jam session, whatever it is, discouraged, kind of defeated and frustrated. So maybe you're working on, Racer X song or something like that, and you just can't get that, that beginning of scare fuck. I'm playing it horribly right now, so I'm discouraged, and I'm like, just, forget it. Don't end like that. So if I would end like that, the last thing I have in my mind, I really feel like this is, part of learning guitar is like a mental thing as well. And, that is going to leave kind of like a bad taste in your mouth. You don't want to end it like that when you're trying to learn how to play the guitar, or work just in general. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You don't want to end it like that. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm frustrated. Step away from the riff for a little. Calm down, sir. Step away from the riff. And then I'll just be like, you know what? Okay, let's jam something. Let's jam some AC/DC. Maybe I'll do like Back in Black without all this delay and reverb. So isn't that just fun to play? I always enjoy playing that solo. It's not played perfectly or anything like that, but I'm in a good mood already just playing that solo. I was like, yeah, you know what? I was gonna end. I was like, you know what? Let's just finish solo. So I think that make sure that you end your practice sessions, motivated, confident, wanting to come back to the guitar tomorrow or later in the day or something like that. Just do not end frustrated. Do not end defeated. Find something that always makes you want to play the guitar and end with that, because that is going to give you so much motivation when you're going back to your instrument the next practice session. So just make sure that you do that one. If nothing else, that one more than anything. Alright guys, that will be it for today. Hope you enjoyed that one. Like I said before, if you would, maybe leave some down below that you think are common mistakes and easy fixes for them. So I'm going to bounce on out of here. Hope you enjoyed this. If you want to, check out lesson packs on my website, and I will see you all later. Peace out, homies. Keep on rocking, and high five it up. Well, jazz hands. Jazz hands.